So now I'm going to tell you how to rank up in Overwatch that's been working for me this past season. It's not a guaranteed way of ranking up, but for me it's been working like clockwork. So as of the patch version 2.02, I've been able to rank up almost like clockwork in competitive. I think I've ranked up about 300 to 400 points in the past week of doing this method, and hopefully it'll work for you. This has been working for me on the PS4, but I haven't checked it on the PC or the Xbox yet, but I'm pretty sure that it'll work exactly the same way. It's the same algorithms that Blizzard is using for Overwatch. So it's been working for me, so hopefully it'll work for you. And so this is for solo queue. I haven't used this strategy in team play because that changes the algorithm a little bit. I've just used this as a solo queue for matchmaking and competitive. So what I do is I'll go into competitive and I'll play rank mode, and I'll keep on playing until I get 2 wins. Once I get 2 wins, I stop playing. Once you get 2 wins, stop playing ranked. Or if you want to keep playing, go to quickplay. Play on quickplay. I don't think quickplay affects the ranking system or the ranking algorithm. But me on the safe side, I just turn the game off and for the rest of the day. Or I'll just wait a couple hours, maybe like 4 hours, and then start it up again. It works the same anyway. But usually I'll just turn it off for the day. And so the next day I'll play ranked again and get 2 wins. And it should be easy to get your first win. For some reason, when you first get onto it, it'll match you up with other players that are on a lower level than you are. So your first game should be an easy game. But don't get lazy about it. You have to actually try to win. Make sure that you are helpful with your team and everything, just as any other game. But you should have an easier time playing this first round. So then that match ends. Then you'll wait 10 to 20 seconds before starting the next match. Your second game will be more difficult, but it's still winnable. And you'll notice this when you see the ranking score, the ranking number on the top of your team and the enemy teams. You will see how the numbers are a lot more closer to being even than the first game was. So you'll have to try a little harder on your second game, but make sure you do win that game. It'll still be winnable if everybody's working together. So you win those 2 games, and then you stop playing for the rest of the day. And then the next day you do exactly the same thing. You play your first game, you win that one, play your second game, win that one, and then you stop playing for the day. And then you come back the next day and you just repeat this over and over again. And for some reason it gives you more points doing it this way, and you'll rank up. You'll start seeing that you're ranking up a lot faster than if you would just continue playing on for hours throughout one play session. So there are things that I don't do that the game wants you to do, which would screw up this algorithm or whatever system or strategy that's working. When you are playing your match, do not group up. If you group up, it'll change the algorithm and it'll make it harder to win. It'll start matching you for your next match. It'll match you with people that are much more similar to your skill level and similar to the skill level of your other teammates, and that'll ruin the matchmaking algorithm. It'll change it. So staying in solo play works. This is how it works. You have to stay in solo play. So you stop playing after the 2 wins, and you don't group up. You just stay in solo play, and that's it. That's all I do. I just play solo and don't group up, get my 2 wins, and that'll be it for the day. And the next day I do exactly the same thing, and it's been working over and over again. It's been working all week, unless I'm jinxing it now by telling you guys, but for some reason it works. The strategy works. There are some other things that I don't do that may be superstitious, but for some reason when I do it we lose, so I don't do that anymore. I don't use sprays. Don't use your spray. If you have a spray, don't spray in your spawn point. Don't use your sprays in the spawn point. Keep your emotes and your voice lines to a minimum, or don't use them at all. Try and stay focused. If there's any type of moment in the game where it's not working and people are starting to argue, be careful not to argue with the other players. Try and stay focused, and if other people are arguing, try and help the others to stay focused also. Try to get them away from that problem. If somebody's saying, oh, you didn't help me with this, we're screwing up, Try to make them get past that and say, okay, don't worry about that now. Try and stay focused on the match. What I noticed that always helps when people do have microphones, which if you have microphones, you have to do this. This always works. Call out the enemy locations. Call out if you see an enemy wherever they are. Always call them out. Like you'll say, oh, there's a Genji to the top left. There's a Hanzo coming up the middle, or whatever. When the enemy's down, you call out the enemy downs. Hanzo's down, Genji's down, Junkrat's down, because you need to let your teammates know how many enemies there are to fight. You don't want them to be wondering if their back is not covered, or you don't want them to be thinking that they're outnumbered. You want them to have that situational awareness of the control point or of the payload. You want them to know who's around and who's down, and how many enemies there are left to fight. Also, if you're down, call that out. Call out if you're down. If somebody downs you, say, oh, I'm out, I'm downed, they got me. Because you want your teammates to know how many enemies are in the field and how many teammates are in the field, so they're not blindly running into battle, or they know when to retreat from that battle, or when to use their ultimate. And your ultimates, call out your ultimates if you have any, because then you can coordinate your ultimates together and get as many team kills as you possibly can. So the strategy that I'm using definitely works on a solo queue. I haven't used this on team players. I haven't used this on teams because the algorithm for teams is different. I haven't found out a strategy that works for teams yet, because for team games, you want to play longer. You don't want to play just those 2 rounds and then call it a day. You want to play with your friends. You want to play longer matches. And so eventually, how Blizzard or how Overwatch has their matchmaking, when you get enough wins, the game will try and set you up with more and more difficult people to play against. And so you may have your wins early on. Eventually it'll make it more difficult for you to rank up. Like, the game doesn't want you to rank up. It wants you to keep you in a certain level. And so once you start ranking up, it wants to not make it so easy on you to get to a higher level. So it'll progressively give you harder and harder players to fight against. And so once you do that and you lose against those matches, then it lowers your skill rating. And so once your skill rating goes down, it'll match you up with other team players that are a low skill rating, which ends up screwing up the matches for the rest of the day or the rest of the week, because now your skill rating and your MMR rating, if that's the correct term for it, is affecting who the game matches you up with and who the game matches you against. This is why a lot of people end up having terrible teammates and fight against people that will just completely wreck them. So you don't want to let the algorithm put you in these categories. You want to always have the algorithm see you as a winner. So if the algorithm sees you as a winner, it should pair you up with people that are similar to your skill rating, that has always had wins. And for your first matches, the game will want you to win, because it wants you to feel good about playing the game. At least that's what I'm assuming. It doesn't want you to have a bad time, but eventually, if you get too many wins, it'll make it more difficult, and then that starts the cycle of the ELO hell, where you'll get a win, and then you'll get 3 losses, and then you finally get another win, and then you get another couple losses, and you just keep going on this back and forth thing, and you never get anywhere. You don't want the game to do that to you. You want to push the game into the direction you want it to go. So you'll get your 2 wins, and then you'll just quit the game. And you'll play later on, you'll play 4 hours later or the next day, and you'll get another 2 wins, and then you're out. Eventually, you'll just continue getting those wins, and you'll rank up, and you'll get into a different tier level. This season has been a weird time. Last season I was in gold rating. This season I placed in low gold and continue to get terrible matchmaking. Bad teammates matched against people that are way more skilled than our team, and we just kept on losing. I went all the way down to 1700, I would say, about 1700 points. And with this system, playing this way, I was able to make up all of those points, and I was able to surpass my placement rating. within three or 4 days. That's about 300 points, 300 to 400 points ranked up just by playing 2 games, winning those 2 games, quitting, and then coming back the next day and winning the next 2 games. And you will rank up about 40 to 50 points per match. I try not to play as healers because healers don't really get as much skill rating as other players, but we do need healers. Healers are very important to the game meta, but I would steer against healers because you don't get as much skill rating when you do win. But if you must play a healer, then play a healer, but as long as you win. So try out this strategy. It's been working for me on the PlayStation 4. I haven't tried it on PC yet or the Xbox yet, but I'm pretty sure that it should work exactly the same way on those systems. But try it, see if it works. If it has worked, let me know in the comments. If it hasn't worked, let me know about that as well. Let me know what your experiences are in ranking. This may change over time. This may be patched out. The patch that I'm playing on right now is version 2.02, and as of now, as of January 2017, it's been working for season 3. But it may change in the next patch. When they update the game, it may not work anymore. So let me know if it does work for you. If it doesn't work for you, let me know in the comments, or let me know what strategies have worked for you. Let people know what's been working and what doesn't work, because everybody knows that the matchmaking in Overwatch can be very frustrating. So talk it out in the comments, and thanks for watching.